Hello there and welcome to episode 3 of the AEW / Ring of Honor save, where we just take this company into the future and we try to take it in our own direction compared to Tony Khan. Last week, we've got episode 3 today, which is Dynamite, episode 144. Dynamite last week saw the Eddie Kingston vs Chris Jericho barbed wire everywhere match, which Kingston won in this universe. And that was pretty much the biggest thing we had last week. Adam Page and Swerve in Our Glory defeated the Undisputed Elite of Adam Cole and the Bucks. But otherwise, it was a slow start for Dynamite last week. Ring of Honor and Rampage on this episode 2 both had probably bigger moments in them. But let's see if this show can live up to the hype. In front of 1,620 people in the Temple Grand Arena in Tacoma, Washington, we start off with Darby Allin versus Lance Archer. Darby Allin defeats Lance Archer in just over 11 minutes 41 seconds with the coffin drop, gives Darby a win over a bigger competitor, which, considering his feud is currently with Brody King, makes narrative sense. It's a 67 overall, 65 for Allin, 59 for Archer. Archer is seemingly declining physically. He is not as strong as maybe he was. I feel like Lance Archer was an unfortunate casualty of WWE's monopoly during the mid-2000s and early 2010s, because I feel like if there was another proper national TV show, he would have benefited a lot from being on that show 10 years earlier. 67 rating though, good opening match, and it's followed up with Brody King and Buddy Matthews jumping Darby Allin. They just beat him down. Sting is nowhere to be seen. That will be addressed. It isn't a plot hole, I promise you. It isn't a plot hole. 52 rating though, great stuff as Brody King and Buddy Matthews stand tall over Darby Allin, continuing their feud. Thunderstorm defeats Britt Baker and Rebel when Toni Storm pins Britt Baker with the strong 0. Gets a pretty decent rating, 55, 53 for Rosa, 48 for Storm, 65 for Baker, 25 for Rebel, obviously the weak link. But the reason I pinned Britt is so that I can take her out of the Women's Championship picture for the foreseeable future. I don't want to see Britt Baker constantly as either the Women's Champion or the Challenger, because if it's always based around one person, you don't get other people built up. So by pinning Baker here, I feel like we can put a bow on this storyline and send Britt Baker to work with somebody else, send Thunderstorm to work with somebody else. 55 rating though, not too shabby. Christopher Daniels announces the Tag Wars tournament, which is something I am very much excited for, to be honest. And let me get the list of who's going to be in it. And here to do the breakdown is Paul White and Mark Henry. So at Death Before Dishonor, we will have the first quarterfinal match. And that will be between Los Hermanos Lee, Dragon Lee and Jalistico, representing AAA, versus the Motor City Machine Guns, representing Impact Wrestling. The second quarterfinal match will be an all AEW clash, and it is FTR versus the Bucks next week on Dynamite in a quarterfinal match. Then, next week on Ring of Honor, representing DDT is Konosuke Takeshita and Tetsuya Endo versus the Ring of Honor representative, the Briscoe Brothers. And finally, on Rampage next week, Rampage Week 3, representing New Japan Pro Wrestling, Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr., Suzuki Gun, versus representing CMLL, Barbano Cavaniero and Virus. A great set of 8 tag teams from across the world, and I'm excited to see them all working together for the Tag Wars. The winner will receive a tag team title shot of their choice from any of those companies. Next up then, we get Luchasaurus versus Sunny Kiss, and it's a quick squash. Luchasaurus picks up the win with the betrayal, the snare trap with the nerve hold. Gets a 41 rating, 48 for Luchasaurus, 40 for Kiss. Christian Cage does some good work at ringside. Good stuff. We'll probably bring back Jungle Boy in the upcoming weeks. 41 though is a pretty good rating. Ty Conti attacks Thunderstorm during an interview. They're just being interviewed backstage, and Ty Conti comes in swinging a chair, takes both of them out, puts the chair up to Thunder Rosa's throat, and threatens her that she's going to take her women's title. Ty Conti is basically asserting herself as the #1 contender right now. And next up, Athena and Chris Statlander defeat the baddies of Red Velvet and Kiera Hogan when Athena pins Kiera Hogan with the top rope stunner, the Eclipse, whatever you want to call it. Chris Statlander actually pulled out the best rating, which is a very good start sign actually, because obviously an AEW original, if you're pulling out a better rating than the WWE guy or girl of Athena, that's good stuff, to be honest. But, as I said, Athena and Statlander putting their flag in the stand pretty clear they want Jade Cargill. Next up, Jon Moxley is in the ring, and he issues the challenge to Malachi Black. He tells Malachi to come out and face off against him. Don't do any of this spooky nonsense. Don't just appear. Walk out there, walk out here, and face me like a man. And he comes out. No flashy entrance. No music even. He just walks out. Eye still obviously very much tarred. He goes out and they face, and Miro's music hits. Miro comes out and lays both of them to waste, locking Jon Moxley in the game over and basically forcing Moxley to tap. Gets a 76 rating, which is a great angle, and I am excited, and we'll get on to what this leads to in the obvious post-show Excalibur read. LAX, Eddie Kingston, Ortiz and Santana take on the Gun Club. LAX pick up the win. Eddie Kingston pins Colton Gunn with the back fist. 56 rating. Kingston gets a 70, which is great news actually. Puts him up in that conversation for title contenders. If you're getting 70, I'm willing to give you a title shot. 56 though overall. You know, the Gun Club, Austin and Colton drag it down. But Eddie Kingston and Santana Ortiz, great stuff. And also you might notice, yes, Santana's not injured in this save. I don't know why. This mod started after Blood and Guts, but Santana just isn't injured. So I'll work with it. 56 rating. And the main event match sees Andrade El Idolo and Rush of La Faccion Ingobernables take on Adam Page and John Silver, and Andrade El Idolo pins John Silver with the Hammerlock DDT. El Idolo. Page was head and shoulders above everyone else with a 75. Gets a 68 overall. And, you know, Page is then, after the match, seeing to John Silver. When the Judas effect hits him, Chris Jericho jumps Adam Page, hits the Judas effect, locks in the walls, and Chris Jericho ends the show standing tall. And let's do a quick read of what's going on, Ring of Honor, and Rampage this week. There's only 3 announced matches for Ring of Honor this week. Lee Moriarty will take on Bryan Danielson. Jay Lethal will take on Frankie Kazarian. And Deonna Purrazzo will take on Serena Deeb in the Go Home show for Death Before Dishonor. And on Rampage, Ruby Soho will take on Riho. Adam Cole will take on Max Caster. Ricky Starks will be in action. And Miro will take on Malachi Black for the #1 contendership to the AEW Interim World Championship. So that is what we're building up to in the next episode. And what did this show get? A 70 rating. Increased our pop in 30 regions. That is the best show we have put on so far. And I think it had to do with putting our biggest stars in those final segments. You know, Miro, Malachi Black, Jon Moxley, Adam Page, Chris Jericho, and Andrade. We don't have many top stars right now because they're all out injured. But if we use them, then boom, we get good ratings still. I'll see you guys in the next episode though. Goodbye.